Hello, 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 flockers. We are live with Max. Yeah, good job. What you doing? What you doing? I know, Max. It was pretty exciting. Oh, did you see a dog? Yeah, you saw a dog. And did you see people ride past on a scooter? Oh, I think that was someone's brakes squeaking. Yeah, they need to fix their brakes. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's get a tripod going, buddy. Can we get a tripod going? Let's try that. Whoa. Sorry, folks. Just getting hooked into the tripod. Hello, Rachel. Hi, Sophie. Hi to Marie. I'm just going to set that up so I'm getting all messages on the chat. Hello, Nick. Oh, my goodness. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we just thought we'd do a pop-up this evening. It's hot inside. It's a little bit cooler outside here on the patio. Max wasn't too happy about coming outside. He was really eager to just stay inside because he was playing a pretty good game of shred some wood. But, you know, he's pretty happy now that he's out. Took a little coaxing. Hey, hey. Hello, Chad. Yeah, it really is a lovely night out here tonight. It's a warm day, but the weather is just gorgeous right now. And we're sitting in the shade, which means we're not, you know, the light's not the best for Max, but you know what? The shade works. You try it? Yeah, Max, you might try it. That's right. Bok Bok. And when we first stepped out, Max was yeah, what you doing? Gonna talk for a bit, Max. You got some friends to talk to. Yeah? You saw dogs. Yeah, what else do you have to tell people? Yeah, I'm just over here behind Max. Bok Bok, Ida Marie. Whoops. That doesn't help if I kick the tripod. I know, buddy. I know. You saw doggos. You saw doggos. Yeah. Are you comfy on the knee? Yeah, we're not going to be making comments like that, people. If you're here to be nice, you're here to behave. We're here to have a good time with each other and to be positive, right, Max? And if you're impolite, you pick on others, you're just here to troll, then we will put you on snooze for a bit. What's that chicken doing? He's sitting here on my knee. You paying attention to what's happening over there? Yeah, did people walk past? They're talking on a phone. I heard that too. Yeah, that was awesome. That was somebody on a... You want to go? Well, where do you want to go? We're not going to go down there. It's too late. And Max, when we stream, I can't stream walking around here. We've got to go further away from home to stream. Because we've got a bunch of cell dead spots around here. So when I'm streaming, I have to stream on Wi-Fi right beside the house. If I step away too far, I have a problem. Yeah, Sean, Max is doing pretty good. He's relaxing on my knee. Are you a kangaroo today, Max? Yeah. You'd like to hop. Matt is here. Hello, hello. Matt says, how do you put a baby astronaut to sleep? You rock it. What? I know. No, so how is everyone doing today? And Max is pretty happy to be outside. He's just sitting comfortably on my knee. Yeah, I just put my foot up on another chair so that my knee's a reasonable distance for him. I don't want him sitting on the chairs out here because we've got too many wild birds migrating and too high risk of avian flu. So he gets to sit on me. And that way he still gets to go outside and stay safe. Hey, Park and Sip. Awesome. You caught alive today, Bok Bok. So Max, do you want to stand for a minute? We're going to just grab the tripod, whoopsies, and we're going to scooch it up. Sorry, folks, I'm going to stand for a couple of minutes. There we go. Whee! Here. Just adjusting where we are sitting. Yeah, wearing another one of the Max shirts today. This one, full crest, says Max the Moluccan. Yeah, are you having a good day, Max? Yeah, you sure are. Oh, it's gorgeous out here. Better than all the rain we've had so far this month. You know, we've been trying to set some records on it. Yeah. Is Max able to fly? That's a great question. Max flies about as well as a potato. Wait a minute, potatoes don't fly. That's right, exactly. Max just straight down. He does wear a harness because even if birds don't normally fly, I know, when they're scared, they have amazing powers of flight. A gust of wind catches them, they have amazing powers of flight. Max is not clipped, he's fully feathered, and we've got a bunch of dangers around here. I'm just going to rotate the camera and show you some of the dangers. You see back there, that busy road? Yeah, if Max lands on the road, I don't give him good chances because I don't trust other people how they drive. The other one is these buildings. I mean, look up. Yeah. I do have a ladder that'll reach up there, but not a great fan of climbing up on those ladders. So yeah, I'm just chilling outside. Shirts like this. Yes, Max's shirts are now available on his Etsy. I know Nick just ordered one of his newest designs. I'm so excited about that. It's already in production for you, Nick. I know, Max. But they are all available on our Etsy. Link is down below in the video description. What we've been doing with live streams. Whoa, that was a big bumblebee. What we've been doing with live streams. And Nick, I know you were on yesterday, so you are getting some goodies with your shirt. But if you use the word of the day when you order, and you order from our Etsy using our link, we will tuck something extra in for you. And the word of the day, what's the word of the day today, Max? Bumble. As in bumblebee, we're going to use bumble. Ooh, that was kind of fun. No, Mr. Bumblebee, please do not, thank you. He was a little too interested in us, Max. Had a little incident with a bumblebee out here the other day. Max was a little bit surprised, lifted up his crest. Yeah, that like that, Max. There's your crest. You lift your crest. Whee! Cresties! Well, sort of like this shirt. Lifted his crest like that. And the bumblebee decided, change, abort. And he hit me in the neck and just bounced right off. Didn't sting me. Bumblebees are pretty calm. They're pretty friendly. He didn't feel like I was a threat. But I actually had pollen on my neck. So, yikes, you know, not a good thing with bumblebees. Oh, is somebody running? Yes, somebody ran past. Yes. Are you going to show how loud a Moluccan can be? Those of you who's wondering how loud parrots are, Moluccan cockatoos are the loudest of all parrots. Yeah, this one right here, Moluccan cockatoo. How loud are they? They can outscream a 747 jet engine on takeoff. I used to work up by the airport, and I can tell you that is plenty loud. But yeah, it's jungle telegraph, right, buddy? Jungle telegraph. It's intended that people can hear you across some pretty long distances. I'm just going to readjust my chair situation here. which is one of the reasons why I wanted to stand up. I made the mistake of sliding my footrest the other day, and Max did not like that at all. But yeah, so if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Give us a like, give us a follow. I'm hanging out here today with Max the Moluccan. Max is 31 years young. He's doing a little bit of talking earlier, and hopefully he's going to be in the mood to do a bit more talking. Yeah, he is cute, aren't you, Max? What do you think? And he is a very, very big boy. I mean, there's no debating that, right, Max? Loud and big. That's right. That's right. All right, I'm just going to readjust myself here. I've just adjusted where the chair is sitting, and I am going to check for wasps. Made that mistake a couple of years ago, and I'm going to pop that right there. There you go, Max. You are on your tripod, and you're on my knee. That's right. So yeah, if you're joining us, make sure you walk up and say hello. And yeah. Oh my gosh, Matt is alive is here today, and Matt has the best jokes. And they're clean. I love it. Matt says, Matt's got a joke for you, Max. He says, a police officer came to my house yesterday. He asked me where I was between 5 and 6. He seemed to be irritated when I said kindergarten. Good one. Ooh, we've got a great question here from, I just can't quite see the name. I'm just going to grab the camera. I'm going to flip it. Boom. There you go, Max. From Dander. Says, may I ask how hard he is to care for? He's beautiful, and I've always wanted one. Owning a Moluccan cockatoo, or really any of the large parrots, it's like having a special needs toddler for life. They need a lot of attention. They need fresh food every day. They need hours of attention every day. You're cleaning constantly. First thing I do when I walk into the bird room, I sweep. I actually don't even put away the broom. I've just got the broom in one of the standing dustbins, and I just sweep as soon as I step in the room. You're always cleaning stuff, always putting out fresh foods, always providing toys. The vets are expensive. Pelleted food is expensive. You know, it is expensive. So why did Nick say hi? It's because we are a super friendly bunch here. We say hello to everybody. We've got some regulars here, and you'll find if you've got some common questions, such as how old is Max? Spoiler alert, he's 31. You'll probably have one of our regulars answer that question for you. Yes, he does talk to me. Yeah, we appreciate you, Nick, so much for that. He talks to me an awful lot, but he's more likely to talk when people are going past on the walkway out there. He sees them, he wants to say hello to them, he wants to interact with them, which is so much fun. We've got another joke from Matt is Alive. What ringtone does a Moluccan use? Wing, 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 wing. You know, it is a beautiful commitment, but it's a huge commitment. Max, as a Moluccan cockatoo, if he's healthy. Now, healthy means a good diet. He does not have any pre-existing conditions. He gets exercise. Everything goes right. It's the same as humans, right? He could live to be 80, 90, 100 if he's healthy, if everything goes right. I know a lot of Moluccans who don't make it that long, and I certainly hope that Max does. But here's the kicker. Max could easily outlive me, so I actually have to put him in my will and make sure he's taken care of. Dolly, when Max came to live with me, he was 10 years old. So he's been with me now for 21 years. We've got a video out that talks about his early years, and it talks about Max's rescue. Video's called The Story of a Rescue. And it is a little bit heartbreaking, I've got to admit. He lived in a basement. When I met him, he only knew how to bite and scream. Not a good start, right? One of the last things his previous owner said to me is, by the way, he loves men, hates women. Great. I'm the worst possible choice. At the time, I had a 9-year-old Congo African Grey. My parrot knowledge was limited. Right, Max? Yeah, very limited. But you know what? I figured it out. Right, Max? We figured it out. Hello, Andrea. Hey, Marty. Matt's got another one of his jokes. Matt says, I've been trying to share with as many people as possible the benefits of eating dehydrated grapes. It's all about raising awareness. Max's favorite food, Dolly, that has got to be apples. Although today, awesome. I think today he really enjoyed some blueberries. If you have birds and you feed them blueberries, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You are going to have blueberry poops, which are sort of a dark purple poop that leaves a mark even on concrete. So I don't know if you can see over there on the concrete. See that little dark purplish thing? That was from yesterday's purple poop, even though I washed it off. I just was not fast enough. I got the poop off of my own patio quick enough. But yeah, no. Awesome. I'm going to flip the camera around for a minute because I've got people walking and I don't want them on camera. What do you think, Max? Yeah? Hello. Are you making friends, Max?
No.
Yeah. You're in the mood to chat. That's right. Upside down. That's right. You get a better look when you're upside down, buddy.
Have you guys seen an orange tabby?
No, we have not. You've lost an orange tabby? Whereabouts did you lose them? So if I spot him, where do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that just on. Can you just hold it up for the camera? Lost cat, boo. All right. Perfect. Awesome. Got that. I'm just live streaming, and so we might have some Calgary people, but I've got the info there so I can find you. I'll keep an eye open for him. Good luck with it. I know I'd be heartbroken if yeah, but good luck, and I'll ask others when they're walking past if they've seen him. Yeah. You're doing the right thing though. You've got food, you've got lights. Yeah. We definitely have a lot of bushes around here, which tends to be a favorite hiding place down there as well. But good luck. Yeah. So we've got a lost tabby named Boo. Yeah. Is it awesome? Yeah. Hey, tabby owner, make sure you post on Facebook YYC Lost Pets. Excellent. Some people don't know about the page. Yeah. I know quite often people will forget about posting it there, and that's usually the place people are looking when they lose a cat. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't want any lost cats, right, Max? Yeah, well, I didn't want to put people on the camera if they didn't want to be, but that was awesome. Yeah. Why is Max unable to fly? He's never had any desire to fly. We live inside of a very small house. One flap of the wing, he'd hit the wall. Another flap of the wing, he'd hit the other wall. Not awesome, Max. You could hurt yourself. Well, you know what? Max will actually tell me if he sees a cat because he's going to stop and he's going to stare and he's going to pay a lot of attention. But I'm going to mention to any neighbors who walk past there's a lost orange cat. Max does not mind the wind, but he certainly minds the rain. Matt's got another one for us. Waffles are just pancakes with abs. Max was just talking, so I think he answered that question by himself. So I'm going to kick this one off with, I'm going to try out something new here, which is called a Q&A. Just going to pop this here. I want to ask everybody, where are you from? And I want you to just hop and give me your comments in the, just type it in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. We are Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the land of the lost orange cat named Boo, apparently. Sophia is joining us from Florida. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, Max. Florida, they have oranges and warm weather. They have patio season year round. They get a little bit of rain. Sometimes they get a lot of rain, but I think all in the whole, it's pretty good. My goodness, Marty's from Colorado. Matt is from Boise, Idaho. Not that far from us, really. Kathy is from GA. Dyer, Massachusetts, USA, originally from Norway. Jocelyn, Buffalo, New York. That sounds like a reasonable cost there, Jocelyn. Andrea's from Bronx, New York. Whoop, I'm still going here. Jana is joining us from Mountain Home, Arkansas. Oops, I'm just going to move Max a little bit further back. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Moluccan cockatoos while we're waiting for others to tell us where they're from, because I know there's sometimes a bit of lag on chat. But Moluccan cockatoos would originate not from Australia, like most cockatoos, but they would originate from the Maluku Islands in Indonesia. So something a little bit different there. Max was born and bred in Canada, and I believe he was bred here, right here in Calgary. Might have been one of the surrounding. I don't have all of the details of Max, but yeah. Awesome. Some great answers there from the Q&A. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Oh my gosh, these, some of this functionality is super, super fun. What do you think, buddy? What do you think? I notice we've got some polls here, so I'm kind of curious about the polls. And I just started a poll. The poll says, do you have birds? Give me a yes or a no in the answer to that poll. Got 4 votes. I'm kind of curious how we're going to make out with the polls. That's some brand new functionality we've not used before, and it's kind of fun, right, Max? Really interactive, and we just want to test a little bit out. We are on a beta program for a couple of features like the Q&As and polls. So we are super excited about that. Captain Falcon asks, how much is this sparrow? There was a sparrow flying around earlier. Max noticed the sparrow, but now the sparrow seems to be gone. Max is a member of the family. He's not for sale. He is priceless. He is my child. Right, buddy? Yeah. People see birds as commodities, but that's not the case at all. A lot of times birds like Max end up in rescues because people get them and they just don't know what to do with them. They treat them like it is something they can buy and sell off the shelf in the local supermarket. It's really a relationship. It's more like adopting a child than anything else, right? Yeah, let's just see how... Whoa, where are you going, Betty? Where are you going? We're not going there. Up. Oh, Max, how about my arm? There we go. Got my arm. So we got 12 votes there on the poll. Bok Bok. So 25% of our viewers today who responded have birds, and 75% do not. Oh, make that 31% do, and 64 do not. So awesome! Yeah. You got a Bok Bok Bok, Max? Was that an awesome Bok Bok Bok? Awesome! Awesome! That was fun. I like polls. You know, it's kind of a fun way to be a little bit more interactive and do something a little bit different. What are you listening to? Cars? Cars going brum brum? Yeah, Max. Brum brum. Big brum. Yeah. Yeah. If you are new to the channel, I'm going to make sure I say hello to you. Give us a like, give us a follow, hang out with us for a bit. Yeah, it's beautiful here on the patio, and there's lots of room for new friends too. So somebody just went past who does not like his girlfriend very much. Well, that's my assumption. Riding a motorcycle, the girl on the back was not wearing gear. The rider was. So he obviously thinks more of himself than he does of his girlfriend. And yeah, you know, that always kind of bugs me. I mean, if you're the rider, give your passenger the gear. You know, if you're taking that risk, you know, don't make your passenger take that risk. Make sure they're properly outfitted. You know, even wearing jeans is better than nothing. But yeah. I mean, I am a motorcycle rider. I get it, you know, but I always put my passengers first, right, Max? Yeah. Hi, Bushra says, I have the same Moluccan Cockatoo. Hello, Cheryl's Park. Welcome. Yeah, Max is just chilling with me today. He's having some fun. We're experimenting with some of the Q&As and the poll functionality, which is so much fun. I absolutely love that we've got that functionality. Right, Max? Right? What do you think, Max? Now, Max knows there's some really important questions in life, and Max really enjoys his food. So Max thinks that he would like to ask the question, the really important question here. What did you have for dinner? Now I'm just going to let that float there for a little bit. Answer us up in the chat. Whoops, let's float it up here. Oh, that works. Yeah. Max had part one of dinner before coming outside. He's going to have some more snacks, but he got some purple sweet potato. Yes! Some rice and rice veggies, and those were mixed in with some pureed mango baby foods. Max just loves that. Mango had the same as Max, except he didn't have the mango baby food. He had, what kind did he have? I think it was kale and spinach, and he also had some carrots. Mango decided today he really likes the purple sweet potato. First time he tried it, he had just went flying, and he said, "This looks weird. It's cooked, but it looks weird, Mom. Never seen this before. It's purple." And see people across the street, eh, Max? That was fun. I think they all heard you. They actually looked over here. But I'm going to remind you of one thing, Max. We are sitting outside, but you see, you're trying to tell the people to come over. We're going to say a little quieter, please, okay? We don't want to bug them. We don't want to bug our neighbors. A couple of yells are okay, but we're not going to keep yelling, okay? But yeah, Max absolutely loves his food. No, not scaring the bird. Do you see somebody skateboarding, Max? Yeah, lots of people skateboarding. I'm just going to flip this around and show you what Max is trying to communicate with. Skateboarding on the other side of the road. Right, Max? Yeah, but let me know, what did you have for dinner in the comments? And if you're overseas, what did you have for breakfast? I know we've got a bunch of folks who are joining us from the other side of the world where it's the morning, Max. Yeah, they're just getting started on their coffee. Yeah, you saw a dog. Oh my goodness, look at all of the seagulls in the air. Look at them. I'm just going to change the camera. They're just all flying overhead. Max is not sure what to think of them. Yeah, so many seagulls. So many seagulls. I know I'm not doing the best job holding the camera. I was, nope, there's some more flying overhead. It's okay, buddy. I know, the first time you saw a seagull, you just had to stop and balk. You were so confused. And now they're just sailing overhead and they're soaring in the air. All right. I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to end the Q&A. And I'm going to flip the camera and let's see what answers we got. Yeah, we've got some people here who are being not nice. I just want to grab that for a second. Okay, just trying to hide a rather foul message and grabbing the names so I know to ban that person later. Right, Max? Yeah. Ambrosina, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, is joining us from Brazil. That is awesome. We are actually Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Max is 31 years young. This is Max the Moluccan. Yeah, he's having a pretty good day. We're just hanging out outside, enjoying the weather. What do you think, Max? Yeah? No, it's so good to see some of our friends joining us. Yeah, Ming is joining us from the Philippines. Yeah, no, if you are new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Make sure you give us a like and a follow. We are hanging out today just on the patio. Max is having a bit of a chance to get a bit of air. You know, it's kind of nice out here today. You know. Hey. Hey, Max. Mr. Max. Let's check this. So, Max, it's 8 o'clock at night. I know you want to scream, but I think some of our neighbors have little kids. And 8 o'clock, some of those kids might be asleep. So you can be a bird, you can talk, you can balk, you can bark, but please don't scream, okay? I know, there's a reason for it. Yeah, we want to be a good neighbor. That's right, Max. Like a good neighbor, Max is there. Hey, what's going on, Max? Do you see people going past, Max? Are you excited about that? Yeah, you are pretty excited about that. Yeah, can I get a buck, buck, buck? Max, can I get a buck, buck, buck? Okay, we're gonna change the channel a little bit, Max. We're gonna come up. We're gonna step up, steps. Oh boy, I'm gonna step as well. I'm gonna stand for a little bit. Now, Max, I don't know if you need to do something or not, but I'm going to distangle you. Can you go poop for me, honey? Can you go poop? Go poop. Go poop. Go poopers. Big super pooper. No, okay. We don't need to go poop. But I thought I'd give Max the opportunity and the invite. We've got a super sticker from Nick. 5 pounds from Nick. Thank you, Nick. Super sticker from Nick. Yeah, awesome, Max. Awesome. Yeah. Have you got a Bok 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 for Nick? Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok? Max, if you are happy and you know it, Bok Bok Bok. If you're happy and you know it, Bok Bok Bok. Have you got a Bok Bok Bok? Wee! Oh! Wee! 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 Okay, crest up for Nick. Big crest. Woohoo! Yes! Yes! Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? For the bumblebees, maybe. They just buzzed us again. Thank you for not snapping at them. Can I get a Bok 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 for Nick? You're trying to look for him. He's right inside the camera, honey. Yeah. Nick balked at you. Oh, and that was a bee going past. We don't snap at the bees. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Maybe later, Mama. Well, that was one Bok Bok. A Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? A Bok, a Bok, a Bok, a Bok, a Bok Bok Bok. Mom is being silly. All right, let's see if we look this way. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? No? Okay, we got some barks. What about the Bok Bok? Bok Bok. A Bok Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. Bok Bok. No box to give? What do you see? You see people on scooters? Yes, people on scooters. Yeah, they just went past Max. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? All right, we're getting barks. Not a buck, but you know what? I will take it. Yeah, the light's much better when we're not aiming into the sunlight. It is getting a little bit later. It's a little bit past 8 here, 8 in the evening. And the days are getting a little bit shorter. Right, Max? Yeah. But that's okay, right, Max? It's okay that the days are getting shorter. You're having lots of opportunities to hang out outside. The days are still long enough that we can go outside and it's still light after work. Yeah, we've got nice warm weather. We've got another month of it at least. Last year we had a really late winter, didn't we? Yeah, you really took advantage of that. And you know what? We even extended the season this year by getting a patio umbrella that we can use when it's really warm out, right? That's pretty awesome, Max. It is pretty awesome. Yeah. You're looking. I've got the close-up. 10 p.m. for Andrea. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It is getting a little bit later in some parts of the States. I started early. I had an early morning at work. And it was a longish day, but that's okay. You know, having some time just to chill with Max. You know, after After I made a really quick dinner for the flock, I spent a bit of quality time with Mango. Tico was quite busy. He's got an acorn squash right now that he's working on, so he is super happy. And TKL was just chilling, right, Max? Yeah. Now it's your turn to chill. Now it's your turn to chill. 3 p.m. for Nick. And I will mention with the shirts, as I've been mentioning lately when I've been doing lives, these are available off of our Etsy store. We can ship worldwide. Link to the Etsy you can find down there in the video description, actually in the description of any of our videos. And if you order, send us a note on Etsy after you order. Let us know you were here for the stream. Give us the word of the day, which is Bumble, as in Bumblebee, and we'll include an extra goodie. Awesome! Is it awesome? Oh yeah. Do you see people walking? You were just so chatty today. Yeah, I see them too, Max. I see them too. But yeah, we've got a couple of different shirt designs. We've got a cool band shirt, Max and the Moluccan. We've got Max the Moluccan. We've got his logo shirt. We've got a round circle with all of the flock members. And yeah, super, super fun. And shirts are available on different background colors. Some of them, like this shirt, we don't have on white because it's, yeah, that was a bumblebee. It's, you know, it just does not quite turn out as well. But we've got some of the other shirts available on a variety. This shirt, I think, is available on black or gray. Max the Moluccans, white, gray, or black. You can actually, if you let us know, we could get that on red or one of the other shirt colors too. All sizes, small, adult small to XXL. And I know it gets better, doesn't it? We can also do youth sizes. Just let us know. We cannot accommodate youth sizes in the selector on Etsy. Functionality there is a little limited at times. But what we can do is if you are looking for that youth size, just, you know, let us know with the order. Message us. We can set up a special order so you can see exactly what you're going to get before you get it, so we can confirm the sizing and everything. But if you put an order, you can also message us, and as long as we have not started making the shirt yet, then we can get going on things, right? With different sizes and whatnot. So there's lots of options, right, Max? Yeah, are you a happy boy? So happy! So happy! I know, Max. Yeah, you're much more relaxed than you were the other time I was streaming. But 2 days ago, somebody was doing a whole bunch of leaf blowing across the street, and it was oh so scary for you, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and the shirt here, this is actually Max. This is a picture of Max with his crust up. So he does not always put his crust up, but when he does, it is super, super showy. Right, Max? All right, we're gonna scooch over here. We're going to change the angle again. We're gonna come down. Do. Can you hold? Whoa! No snapping at the bumbles. Whoa! That did not work, Max. Here, me. There you go, honey. We're gonna try that again. We almost dropped the phone on the tripod. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Andrew says, I'd love a bird, but my neighbors might not like it. Yeah, they are a lot of work. We're super fortunate in here that our place was built to the updated sound intonation standards. And we actually tested between units before we bought. We're side by side in a townhouse. And we've noticed that the people who have the most noise complaints seem to be the stacked townhouses that are up and down. The noise travels a lot more there. But the day that I was convinced that Max was not bothering my neighbors, I was outside, ran into my neighbor's wife, and I don't see her outside very often. And she asked me, and this is the one I share a wall with, she said, do you still have the big bird? what? You had to ask? And I thought, okay, this is good. You can hear him a little bit outside when he gets going from the indoors, but here's the thing. When we deliberately bought on a busy road because you hear traffic noise, right? A little bit of outdoor noise compared to the traffic noise, not going to be the end of the world. Whereas if we were on a super quiet cul-de-sac, then it might be a problem, right, Max? So we're really, really mindful of noise, but yeah, that can be a big problem. Because Max, sometimes he'll have a tantrum. I mean, he will just go off. When I work, sometimes he wants to be part of the conversation and he'll try to yell upstairs. My secret weapon is an Amazon Alexa, which is downstairs. I grab my phone, I pull up the Alexa app, and I tell Alexa to play music in the bird room. And you know what happens? That's right, silence. It's fantastic. So Andrea is asking about our hottest temperatures. So Andrea, I'm going to give you our temperatures in Celsius. And if somebody out there knows the Fahrenheit equivalent, please help me out. But I know my Celsius. So in Calgary, I mean, today it got up to around 26, 27. We do see low to mid 30s, not super often. Last summer, it was terrible, the number of days we had well into the 30s, and it was not even cooling off at night. It was pretty terrible. This year, it's been a lot more temperate. We had hot days, but it's not been quite as bad, right, Max? And the winters, though, we go the other direction. Winters will get down into the minus. That was rude. Well into the minus 30s, with wind chills down into the minus 40s. A few days of the year will drop down that far. Now, when I say wind chill in the minus 40s, I'm going to help out those of you in Fahrenheit, because minus 40 is the point where Celsius and Fahrenheit cross. And everybody I know who lives in the States, when they hear minus 40, they think, how could you possibly handle that? You just bundle up, and you're aware that any exposed flesh can get frostbite within minutes. Right, Max? It does not take long. Calgary is in Canada. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We are north of Montana. You may have heard of Banff and the Rocky Mountains. Banff is a couple hour drive away from me. Kananaskis, hour and a half, maybe. So we are actually in a pretty cool location. We've got the mountains to the west. We've got prairies to the east. One thing that's super nice about winters, it does not stay that cold all the time. The temperatures drop down there for a little bit and then they rise. We will get really heavy snowfall, but then it melts. Because what we get are things called Chinooks. Now, what's a Chinook? If you don't live here, you probably don't have a clue. Chinook is actually a native word. Translated, it means roughly snow eater. And it's what happens when we get a weather system that blows warm winds over the mountains. And, oh yeah, Max. And they sort of pick up a little bit of speed. They just come scooching over the mountains. And what you'll see in the sky, you'll see an arch of clouds. We call it a Chinook arch. And I know, Max. And when we have the Chinook arch, you sort of see the clouds are up high and the blue skies are underneath. We get warm weather. It warms up, a little bit above freezing. And it's actually the weather where you can go outside in bare arms for a few minutes, right? You can go for walks. Max, it's a little cool. We still wear a hoodie, right, Max? But it is awesome. A friend of mine just messaged me to let me know that the audio is clipping a little bit. Is anyone else having an issue with the audio? Let me know in the comments. Hello, Diane from Iowa. Chrissy says that's far from Seattle. Yeah, I know, Max. I know. Is that by me? What? What? Yeah. I love this Q&A functionality. It is super, super fun. I'm just playing around here a little bit. Let's go done. So Max wants to know Bok Bok. Max, can we get people to balk at you in the comments and maybe you can balk right back at them? Give us a Bok Bok in the comments. Becky says the audio for her is fine. Awesome. Jana says, hear ya, great. Becky's from North Carolina, USA. Awesome. Yeah. So Max says Bok Bok. Give us a Bok Bok in the comments. Bok Bok for Max is the sound of happiness. It's his chicken impression. We call him the original cluckatoo because he likes to balk like a chicken. But he does not always balk. Some days he'll balk, other days he will not. But he uses it as a special treat to let people know that he's happy. Max, can I get a Bok Bok Bok? People in the comments are balking. Becky balked for you. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. Bok Bok. Well, that was one. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Yes, my neighbors think I'm insane. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Can I get a Bok Bok? No Bok Boks. No Bok Boks. No, Max might not have a Bok Bok for us. Andrea's giving you a Bok Bok too, buddy. With the Bok Bok here and the Bok Bok there. Max is giving me that look of, you know what I'm going to do, Mom? As soon as you hit stop on the stream, I'm going to balk like a mad chicken. What do you see, Max? Are you excited? Do you see people? Hello. You going to say hello, Max? Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. Awesome. Yeah. Max. You say hello, Max? Gonna get a Bok Bok Bok. We're still working on that Bok Bok for Nick, huh? And chances, a little trouble with audio. Yeah, Nick gave you a couple of Bok Boks. Yeah. Hello, Ellen from Chicago. All right. I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw this one up, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, folks, ask me a question." Ellen gives you a Bok Bok from Chicago, Max. Ask me a question. Just toss it up in the comments. Let me know. Oh, you know what? I set up a Q&A, but I forgot to hit start. That's why it didn't work last time. I'm still figuring this stuff out, folks. I'm still figuring this stuff out. Hi, Kiki. Go ahead and ask me a question in the comments. How old is Max? Max is 31 years young. KK, he's actually a cockatoo. So glad that you joined us, Jana. That's right, Becky. Max is 31 years young. He celebrated his birthday actually on the 1st of the month. On the 1st, where are you going? On the 1st of, I'm going to sit that way. Okay. We'll just move the camera a little bit. He celebrated his birthday, his hatchiversary, on Canada Day, which is the 1st of July. Awesome. You gonna bark for me? Yeah? Get a woof woof. Awesome. So he celebrated his hatchiversary on the 1st of July. And what we did for his birthday is something super special. And we've actually left it open all month. We did a fundraiser for Parrot Rescue to help out our friends down at Greta's Roost. Wee wee. Awesome. So awesome, Max. Yeah. And we raised over $1,000 for them to help out with some cages, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, we'd hope to raise a bit more, but you know what? Every bit helps. And the rescues, I mean, it's not cheap for them to operate. Even the ones that are a foster-based rescue, they've got a lot of expenses. Cages, food, vet bills. You know, it's all volunteer run, but there are so many expenses. Right, Max? That's right. Oh, yeah. All right, keep tossing your comments up. Oh, Chrissy asks, have you had him since birth? No. Max was 10 years young when he came to live with me. When I met Max, he was living in a basement. He knew how to bite, he knew how to scream, and he'd actually just attacked his previous owners. I was not supposed to be his home. I was a temporary foster. 1 week, 2 weeks on the outside. I agreed to take him in just temporarily because he'd attacked his mom. There was a situation at home where it was either him or his mom, and they needed to get him out of the house for just a little bit. And I mean, she got torn up by him pretty good. He was angry. And last thing they said to me was, by the way, loves men, hates women. And I'm thinking, this is really not good, but it's only for a couple of weeks. Yeah, then they contacted me and said, hey, here's the thing. Can't have Max back. Otherwise, there's a divorce. Can you find him a new home? How do you find the Amityville Horror with Wings a new home? Well, the first thing I did is I taught him about rules. He was shocked about rules. Never heard of the things before in his life. He says, what's a rule? He was really shocked. Then I taught him that rules applied to him. He was really shocked. But you know what? I set some boundaries. I was consistent with him. Took me a couple of years before I could handle him. And I mean, he's a totally different bird today. He's doing oh so well. He really, really is. I see a question about Max's favorite food. I'm scrolling down to see that one. That's KK who just asked about his favorite food. And yeah, so Max, the joke is that his favorite food is apples. Is it really? Well, he does really like apples, but I think one of his favorites are eggies. He gets them on Saturdays only. He gets a bit of egg and he loves it. But he also likes a lot of other foods. I mean, he's a big, big fan of blueberries. He's a huge fan of blueberries this week, judging from the blueberry poops. He likes parsnips and carrots, yam. He loves pasta, especially crunchy pasta. Dried pasta is a lot of fun to crunch. Does not get it all the time, but he's always getting bits and pieces and treats. Loves peppers, right, Max? You love peppers. He doesn't get that many nuts. No, I know. Nuts are not that good for the birds. They can be fattening. And he's never been super thrilled about them. He's much happier about fruits and veggies. Yeah, so we give him those as his treats, right? He likes sunflower seeds. Those are the junk food of the bird world. Not super healthy, but that's okay. Kyle asks, can the parrot talk that's looking at us? Yes, he can. And can I make him talk? No. Can you make your toddler talk? It's really up to him if he wants to talk or not. Today's video on YouTube was actually a video of him doing a bit of talking, and he was having a good time. He was in the mood to talk. He had a few opinions about the weather. His newest word is wet. And he's decided that wet applies to when he's commenting on the dry pond when it's full of water, it's wet. When it's going to rain, it's wet. He does not know rain, but he knows wet. So sweet. The other day we were out for a walk and the sky started dribbling a little bit on him. Not too much, it was just threatening and the occasional drop. And he just looked at me and just in this super sweet voice, he just said, no wet. He just did not want to get wet. So he rushed me home. So he did not get wet, right? Yeah. It's scary when the sky drips, Max. You're gonna preen, okay? You can preen. It's scary when the sky drips. He loves showers and baths, though, but there's something about when the sky drips. Max, do you see somebody walking past? Can you say hello? No, I'm too busy preening, Mom. A person. Yeah, a person. That's right. It's a person. Uh-huh. That was fun. That was fun. All right, I'm going to encourage you to keep asking me some questions, but I'm actually just going to grab the phone and flip it around for a minute so I can read comments for a minute. There we go. Yeah. No, we're not asking questions that are off topic and we are not going to troll. If you troll, you get timed out. It's as simple as that. We've got a rule on our streams. I know rules everywhere, but our stream rule is pretty simple, right, Max? Be kind. That's it. Be kind. Be respectful to others. You know, if you're trolling, you're not being kind and you're not going to be here for long. You know, being kind is saying hello to others. It's asking questions. It's engaging. It's, being a generally good person. And you know what? I think we all are good people. Right, Max? Yeah. Ooh, some more questions here. Thank you for subbing. Becky, we tried to do a little bit of education. And one thing I'm going to say about birds is I am constantly learning new things about birds. I don't know it all, and I learn new things all the time. We're going to get that angle there and see if I can read. Yeah, I can. So we're always learning. So the creative something, I can't quite read it. You've got a super cool etiquette font. Says, do you recommend getting a Moluccan cockatoo as a 6-time bird owner? No. I actually recommend against getting a Moluccan cockatoo for everybody. Moluccan cockatoos, the large cockatoos like Max, take a ton of attention. They are very, very messy. One thing most people don't tell you about Moluccans and cockatoos in general is how much powder they generate. Now, Max, I'm going to show you my leg here. Can you see my leg? See how much white powder is on my black pants? That's just from his feet. He sheds powder like no tomorrow. If you want to know what it's like owning a Moluccan cockatoo, buy a bag of flour, start tossing it in the air in front of a fan, clean it up, toss some more flour in the air in front of the fan. That's what it's like. I mean, we've got a high quality air filter. We've got a couple of them that we run. We're actually fortunate enough to have a couple of rabbit air filters. And it's the kind that you can actually clean the filter yourself. And when I take the filter outside, it just looks like it's snowing. The filter's just completely jammed up. And I can clean the filters once a week. And there's a lot of white powder to knock out, and it's super obvious. I still have to do a lot of cleaning. But the Moluccans need a lot of attention. I actually think that it does them a disservice to breed them in captivity. They are gorgeous creatures, but they are very intelligent. They're just like children. And cockatoos, on average, the average cockatoo is in 3 to 4 homes by the time it is 2 years old. That's not fair. And they get rehomed quite often, right, Max? And it's totally unfair to them. Now, there are some situations where it's appropriate to rehome. Mangle is a great example. His original owners had him for 25 years, and they got a little bit older and were no longer able to provide for him the same way they were able to in their youth. So it was time for him to move out and move in with a new family. Right, Max? Yeah, that's right. Oh, look at your feathers. Those are so pretty. Yeah. Show off. Show off. So, I mean, that's a great reason to rehome. And I mean, there are always going to be good reasons to rehome. But what I get frustrated about, and I think a lot of members of the bird community get super, super frustrated about this. They see birds, they say somebody gets a baby bird, they want a baby, they absolutely have to have a baby, they run to the store, they buy themselves a baby bird, and that baby bird starts to grow up and starts to hit the terrible twos and starts to not be a baby, starts to assert its independence, starts to get a little bit beaky, they don't know how to deal with it. It's super cute when they first got it, and then that bird gets relegated to a cage. That bird's going to act out because he's trying for some attention. He's trying his darndest to communicate, right? Oh, that's right. Yeah. But, this is the story of what happens to too many birds. People start off with the best of intentions, and then they realize this is not for me. And then you see them posted on Kijiji or in the Facebook group saying, I have this bird, I need a new home, I'm asking X for it. Well, you know what? A lot of people don't want to buy somebody else's bird. They want their own baby. They're going to run to the breeder and buy a baby because the person who's selling it wants the same price they paid for the cage and for the bird and everything else. And it doesn't quite work like that. When the person can't sell the bird, that bird usually gets dropped off to a rescue. Now, the rescue may or may not get cages with the bird. The cage may or may not be usable or appropriate. Sometimes the cages are damaged, broken, or rusted and filthy and can't be used. Sometimes the cages, especially with the larger boys and girls, larger birds like Max, he needs a huge cage. A lot of times people put them in a cage that's too small for them. They think, well, the bird fits and he can sit on a perch, but there's not enough room for the bird to run around and stretch and everything else. Right, Max? The rule of thumb with cages, buy the largest cage you can afford, go up one size. There's never a cage that's too large. But the rescue, when they do an intake of a bird, the first thing they do with that bird is they take them to the vet, get them fully vetted, blood panels, and checked out and everything else. And that's super important because the rescues often have multiple birds. And if there is something like PFD or beak and feather disease, awesome, they need to know about it. They need to treat that bird. They need to make sure the bird is healthy. And especially if somebody's adopting that bird. So they've got expenses right off the bat. And a lot of times people will drop a bird at a rescue and not provide any money to cover some of those expenses. That's one of the reasons why we do so much fundraising for rescues. And we're so involved with the Parrot Club who does fundraising for rescues. But, even... That's right, Max. Even for me, I have had Max for 21 years. I've had my African Grey for 29 years. I'm a bird person, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Some days I think I've got to be insane to have the flock that I do. I've got to be insane to have the birds and to be doing what I do. My house, I don't have a living room. I have a bird room. I have, you walk into my house and it's bird cages and bird perches and air filters. And then there's a kitchen. And you go upstairs. That's where the bedrooms are. That's where my office is. In the evening, once the birds are in bed, I go upstairs to maybe if I want to watch TV or do something because the birds are sleeping and I can't disturb them. What's a living room? I mean, I don't have one. But, I mean, you need a lot of space for them, right, Max? That is pretty cool. But, yeah, the larger birds need a lot of attention. And when I say attention, and I know I'm belaboring this a little bit, but I think it's important. Some people say, I give my bird lots of attention. When I'm cooking dinner, they're in the room. In the room is not attention. In the room is not quality time. Max, for him, quality time is actually hanging out with me, talking to me, interacting with me. I mean, my attention is on him, and this is actually what he thinks is fun. Other flock members don't think this is fun. Other flock members, Mango might want a pedicure, TCal might want a shower, but I give each bird what they want for their quality time, for their attention. And it's different for each bird what they want and how much time they need. But it's not just the bird is out of the cage, the bird needs attention. You know, I read them books, I play games with them, I challenge their minds. I mean, there's always something on the go. Are you going to preen for a bit? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now I want to show you something about the light. You notice how if you started watching at the beginning of the stream, Max was white. Now he's turning pink. You know why? That's right. Sunset light. As the light starts to fade and as sunset starts to approach, it really brings out some of Max's colors. But yeah, so it takes a really special person to, you got to be partially crazy to have birds. And I mean, you have to be really mindful about the dust and dander. You have to keep on top of cleaning. You have to put a lot of time into it. I mean, cleaning a house is nothing. Cleaning a house with a bird, oh my God, it is a ton of work. Yeah. And I mean, I share a lot of what happens with birds, but one thing I like to tell people is if you're looking at getting a bird, do not run to the store. Oh my God, no, do not do that. Go find yourself a parrot rescue. There's a number of bird rescues, sometimes local SPCA, but there are bird rescues around the globe. And usually you'll find a bird that needs a new home. And they need you as much as you need them. If you find that bird in that rescue, the volunteers at the rescue are going to work with you to make sure that they get a good match. That whatever bird you adopt is one where you and the bird click. Think of it like dating. You wouldn't want to just look at a picture of someone and say, I will take that person as my spouse. You don't know anything about their personality. You don't know anything about their habits. You don't know anything about them, right? The rescues, they get to know the birds a little bit. They get to know what the personalities are like. Is the bird like men? Is the bird like women? Does the bird like kids? Does the bird like other animals? Does the bird get along with other birds? Does the bird need a single bird house? They figure a lot of the stuff out. They figure out how noisy is the bird. Does the bird talk? A lot of birds don't. And if you're getting a bird because they talk, you're getting them for the wrong reason. Go get yourself a tape recorder. But yeah, so they look at the personality. And then they set up a time for, they say, I think this bird's personality is going to meet what your needs are. And I think you are going to be able to meet this bird's needs. It's just like dating. It's a two-way street. And then they introduce you to the bird. Most rescues will also do some things and they'll say, you know what, when you adopt this bird, you agree that if something does not work out, you're going to bring the bird back to us. You're not going to flip the bird. We'll rehome him. A lot of times the rescues will even do a refund if something does not work out because they want the best for the bird. One thing I absolutely love about a couple of our local rescues, Mika's Safe House up in Edmonton and one of our favorite rescues, Greta's Roost, that services Southern Alberta, they both do this. They work with Parrot SOS. Robin is she's world-renowned parrot trainer. So lucky to have her, but they both work with her. She gives presentations to them. She actually gives presentations at a lot of bird clubs as well. She does consulting with them. And when a bird is placed, she has some courses for people when they first adopt birds that they can take and learn more about how to prepare their house for birds, how to start off that relationship with the bird. When, maybe something's not working out, that bird is, how do you introduce the bird to the house? Maybe there's some behaviors, maybe there's some questions. She will actually work with people to make sure that those adoptions are successful. And, she volunteers with rescues to do some of this. And she's also available, like if you've got a bird and you want to learn more about birds, Robin consults. She does some wonderful, wonderful work. I wish I would have known Robin when I first got Max. It would have shortened the time to building the relationship I've got with Max. But I can tell you something about Max. He would not have been placed with me. When I met him, he was screaming and biting. He needed somebody with a lot of experience with the big Moluccans. I did not have it. I did not have it with birds that were biting and screaming, and I did not know what I was doing. He loved men, hated women. That's another reason I'm really not a good fit. He came from a house where he was the only bird, had kids and dogs, and obviously he really likes dogs. Another reason that maybe I'm not the best fit, but you know what? It worked out. That's not always the case. But a lot of times rescues, if something's not working out, that bird can go back to the rescue and they learn something about the bird, they can rehome, but they're not going to say, well, you had him for a week, now we're going to just bring him back because you decided that he was too loud for your house. They're going to pre-vet. They're going to check out things to begin with. So they do some really, really good work. I'm just going to grab the camera here and I'm just going to flip it around. Where's the flip button? There's the flippy flip. There you go, Max. Yeah, you can see how the sun's beginning to set and there's that beautiful, beautiful pinkish hue. Okay. Ellen's got a great question. Oh, Coco Kelly does too. I'm going to answer Coco Kelly's question first, which is, does Max have a favorite toy? He loves to play on the bottom of his cage with newspaper, and he loves to shred some pieces of wood that are foot held. Outside of the cage, he loves to play with musical toys. He loves bells that jangle. He loves things where you can push buttons and they make music. But those ones are all supervised toys, right, Max? And he loves to play catch with things like rings and cups. So those are some of his favorite. Every bird has different likes and dislikes. Ellen asks, do Max's siblings sleep through the night? What time do they go to the bed and get up? So sleeping through the night, it's much like you or I. Did something interrupt them and wake them up? If somebody walks maybe up that sidewalk there in the middle of the night, Max will decide there's nobody supposed to be there in the middle of the night, and he'll raise the alarm and he'll yell and say, hey, there's something wrong. That's happened before, right, Max? Yeah. But most of the time he'll sleep through the night. I try to put them to bed a little bit earlier. I'm up well past midnight. It's, that's just me. It's a bit of a bad habit maybe, but I'm up. I'm a night owl. I put the birds to bed earlier. Max is okay with hanging out with me all night. He'd happily do so, and he'll sleep during the day. Max, Tico, and Tikal all do that because, when I was working away from home, they figured out, we got to play with you before work, we got to play with you after work, and sometimes it's later at night when you're getting home. That's our playtime, and we're going to sleep when you're not home because it's boring. So they're really good at napping during the day. Mango, not so much. Mango, I jokingly say, turns into a gremlin after dark. A gremlin, you know how you don't get them wet? Well, Max is fine most of the time, but Mango really reacts poorly at time changes and if he's up too late. So I try to respect an earlier bedtime for him. I've definitely taken it later than he's used to, just because I'm usually moving around and I'm sometimes eating a late dinner. But Mango gets some evening snacks. We've got a little routine. Sometimes Mango does not want to go to bed and he'll say, hey, Mom, I'd like a pedicure, please. And we'll do a pedicure if that's what he wants before bed. But if Mango does not get enough sleep or if something wakes him up in the middle of the night, he is a real bear the next day. So I've really noticed that. So success with Mango means enough sleep for him. But birds need a lot of sleep. They need 12 hours. So Mango's adapted a bit. He will nap a bit during the day. He'll follow suit with the rest of the flock, but he still needs his nighttime beauty sleep. Yeah. Lisa says you're a beautiful Moluccan, Max. Thank you. Yeah, you can see some of his feathers there. Good night, Becky. John Half-Life asks, what's the difference between a Moluccan and a cockatoo? So, when you look at parrots, cockatoos are a member of the parrot family, and you see birds like Max. There's quite a few different types of cockatoos. They're usually sort of the white birds. They've sort of got the they sort of have a little bit of this look and feel. Now, within cockatoos, there's many subbreeds. You've got Moluccan cockatoos, and Moluccan cockatoos are also known as a salmon crested. He's got a salmon crest, and when he lifts it up, he's not going to lift it for me right now, but his crest looks super, super showy. They're also sort of a light peach, and there's a number of characteristics. Now, some of his close cousins, maybe a salmon-crested cockatoo, they've got a very different shaped crest, and it's got a bit of salmon feathers in it. Umbrella cockatoos are just plain white crests, again, a different shape of crest. Goffins are quite small. You know, they've got some feathers they lift, but it's not the same type of showy crest. It's just some fairly short feathers that sort of are a little bit of a crown. But it's the same with dogs. I mean, if you look at a dog and you say, well, they're terriers, well, there's a whole bunch of sub terriers. Like, you can look and say, well, it's a terrier, just as you can look at Max and say it's a cockatoo. But then you've got your short hair terrier, and you've got your Scottish terrier, and I'm not good at dogs, so somebody help me out in the comments. What kind of terriers do we have? But it's basically just subspecies. So a Moluccan is a cockatoo. It's just a type of cockatoo. So you have parrots. Under the umbrella of parrots, you've got a lot of different species, including things like the African greys, the Amazons, the cockatoos, the macaws. And within each of those, you've got a number of subspecies. With the Amazons, you've got the yellow-naped, you've got the red lord, you've got a number of different subspecies. With the greys, you've got the Timney, you've got the Congo. With even with the macaws, I mean, you've got the blue and gold macaws, the standard macaw you think about when you think of a parrot, but there's also red and green. There's a harlequin. There's smaller macaws like the military macaws that are just this beautiful darker green. So many subspecies. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a lifetime commitment. That's right, Leonie. How big of cage? The biggest cage you can possibly afford. Max's cage, and people kind of laugh at me, but I'm going to characterize this. Max's cage, you could fit, if it was a clown car, and we just packed people into it, we could probably pack 8 people in it. Mango's got a slightly bigger cage. And it's a better, bigger's always better. Mango's cage, if you turned it into a clown car, you could probably pack 10 people into it. Super tight, but I mean, it's huge. It's, if I want to reach the top of the cage, I have to reach above my head. If I want to reach across the cage, it's greater than my arm span. Mango's cage is the size of, a little bit larger than the love seat. Yeah, it's, we are talking some serious furniture here. We're talking large. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Kimek. April. Hello. April says 2 budgies and it's hard to clean. Yeah, it's amazing how much time you can spend cleaning after birds. And I mean, I can give you some tips. If you've got hard floors, pick up a steam mop, one that spins automatically and heats water and steams the floor. It does a beautiful job of breaking stuff up. But I mean, sweep regularly. Get yourself a good quality air filter. Smaller birds like the budgies, they don't have nearly as much powder as Max. I mean, I just touched Max. My hand, I'm just going to give a couple of good touches here to Max. And so I just pat him. Here's my pants. There you go. What do you see on my pants? White streaks. Whoop. And that was a mosquito. But so much powder. Rescue, adopt, don't shop. That's right. Yeah, April, it's a lot of work. I mean, and it's a huge commitment. But, you know yourself, and, you're smart enough to go beyond the immediate I wants and the immediate gratification to think long term and think not just about your wants, but about what's right for the bird. One thing that some of the parrot rescues do is they do foster the birds, and they will get people in the community to help out doing some fostering. And I know a few people who foster who've had failed fosters, and they get the first option to adopt. But if you're curious how another bird would fit into your lifestyle, that might be an interesting way to do it. You know, and there's always birds needing home and needing socialization. Yeah, April says I can get my fix by volunteering when I can at a parrot rescue. April says, and our dog Juno has a high prey drive. Veterinarian's word, she's a good girl, but she is who she is. Absolutely. And that's something people forget. They say, and I've seen this on the forums so often, someone will say, well, my dog has grown up with my bird and he's never bitten my bird. There's never been a problem. And all of a sudden, the bird dropped something and flew to the floor in front of the dog, and the dog pounced, and I don't know what happened. Why did my dog kill my bird? Why did my dog injure my bird? And it's like, well, prey animal. It's honestly something to be super, super aware of. Hi, Anne-Marie. Hey, Emily. Anne-Marie says night owl as well. Yeah, Anne-Marie, we're both night owls, I think. Yeah, it's fun to hang out with our friends. You know, it's... we have a lot of people who've been here for a long time hanging out on the chat. We have a lot of friends who come to the chat, and if you're here, you start commenting, you start hanging out, we get to know you, and it's so exciting for me when I recognize your name. If you're ever ordering from our Etsy store, make sure you let us know, especially if you're a regular and you say, hey, I'm one of the regulars, and you know me as, and let me know who you are from from YouTube or from Facebook. Let me know your username, because it's so exciting when I'm sending something to friends. And if you are a regular and you're always commenting, if I've got any goodies that I'm tucking in as extras, you're definitely going to get some goodies. I mean, one thing we've been doing with our streams is, if you are on a stream, and I'm just going to stand up for a bit because my foot is falling asleep. I've been sitting weirdly. Yeah, my foot's asleep. That was not fun. I've been sitting a little bit weirdly with Max, just sort of curled up a bit with my foot up. But yeah, if you're ordering, let us know. One thing I've been doing in those streams though lately, I've been showing off some of our Max merch. And this week it's been showing off some of our shirts. This one, Max the Moluccan, it was one of the first shirts designs that we did with the name Max the Moluccan on it. And it's got Max with a full crest. If you order this one and you want it without the word mark on it, that's okay too. Just let us know when you order. Big poopers. Yeah, big splatter. Thank you for not getting my chair, honey. Whoa. I'm just going to clean that up. If you've got a patio and a bird, and the bird's outside on the patio, I'm going to show you a little trick. Cleaning up poop before it dries. It's amazing how well that works. So I'm just going to give that one a quick water. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should water the plants while we're at it, Max. How are those plants doing? Yeah. Actually, while I'm talking, I'm going to just spin this around because I've got the water going. And let's get those plants watered, Max. So come with me and water some plants. So I'm just going to come over here, give them all a quick drink. They don't need a lot, but yeah, there we go. So the radishes, there we go, Max. Max decided to figure out what to change products. Little plants up here. I'm going to be back to the camera in a second, folks. I thought I turned it up, but no, I did not. Here we go. All right. And there gets a quick drink. And then the two on the table get a quick drink. Now, folks, please remind me not to sit down again because I just watered my chair. I'll have a very, very wet seat if I sit down again. I'm just going to shift the chair over. I'm going to flip the cushion. So yeah, I actually do that with the cushions. I flip them over so that I'm not sitting on something where there's been wild bird pooping. It's a little bit cleaner, and yeah, I'm just super aware of avian flu and what can I do to sort of have a clean place to sit. But yeah, so I was talking about shirts before Max tried to poop on my foot, and I wanted to clean that up. But shirts, this one of our designs, we've got 4 designs of shirts right now on our Etsy store. 3 are photographic in design, and 1 is an artwork design. They're fun. They're available in sizes ranging from small to double extra large. Youth sizes are also available, even though they're not listed. Message me and we can figure out what we've got for youth sizes. You can also pick the shirt color. Now, some shirts we've got more colors available than others, but we do get them made at the time that you order them, and then we ship them. Means it's a couple of weeks before you get your shirt shipped, but you are getting something that's uniquely yours. So if you want Max the Moluccan on gray, or on blue, or on red, you can get your shirt color, you can get your size. We don't have everything in stock, and we just decided, this is kind of fun. We have people who want to order multiple things. They want to get a shirt and a keychain and a couple of other things, maybe some fridge magnets, parrot poetry for fridges, maybe a necklace with a bird charm on it, bookmark. I know we've got a ton of really fun stuff, all on the Etsy store. Go to www.maxthemoluccan.com, or the link to the store, the Etsy store, is right in the description of the video. You can check that out. Now, one thing I've been doing with streams is giving folks code words. So if you've been hanging out at the stream and you're curious from the stream, you go to Etsy and you order something today, sort of within 24 hours of the stream with the code word, give us the code word, and we will send you some extra goodies with your order. It's going to depend what the size of your order is. I mean, if you just order 1 sticker, it's going to be something small. But if you order a bunch of stuff, we're gonna really, really surprise you, But code word for today is bumble, as in bumblebee. I just noticed I left that water running, Max. That did not work very well, did it? Okay. Water's off now. Yeah, so bumble as in bumblebee is the word of the day for that. So I'm just going to come over and see what other questions I've got. Hi, April. Yeah, no, we just decided to go live today. I'm beginning to get some mosquitoes coming after me, so I'm not going to be up for long. Max, you still owe me a Bok Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? No. We're going to get your Bok yet. You won't nick a Bok. Oh, good luck, Cheryl's Park. Good luck in finals. Thinking about you tomorrow, wishing you all the best. Yeah, just scrolling through comments here. I'm actually going to grab the phone, Max. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to flip it around. There we go. Yeah, you can see my tripod. This one's actually a light stand, and I've got a clip on it for the phone. I had some birdie broke my other tripod. I'm not mentioning names. Max, huh? Goes the paramedic. It's not good. No, Kim, we're still live, but we're about to wrap up. We're still here. Oh, Ellen asks, which of the larger parrots have the longest lifespans? The larger parrots seem to have the longer lifespans than the smaller parrots. Moluccans can live 80, 90, 100 years if they are healthy and if everything goes right for them. But there's, even some of the smaller parrots, like the African greys, 50 to 60 years. The Timney Greys are 40 to 50 years, but I know one Timney that made it much older than that. So it really depends on their health, on pre-existing, on diet. You can't do things about everything, but you can watch the diet. You can watch that the bird is fit, that the bird is getting stimulation, and you can make sure that their time is quality time. I remind people we don't know how long any of us have. Appreciate the ones that you have, whether they're furred, feathered, or people. Let them know that they matter. Spend time with them, because you know what? Tomorrow's not guaranteed for any of us. Piano could drop out of windows you're walking past it. Things happen, right, Max? Yeah. Yeah, April. Steam mop, I'm actually quite sold on. There's a bit of work to cleaning them, which is a drawback, but oh my gosh, I'm super happy with what it does with Cockatoo dander. And Max is the killer of vacuum cleaners. I can tell you that. But steam mop, I sweep the laminate floor, and then I steam mop it, and the water in the steam mop actually traps a whole bunch of stuff. And even if I get something kicked out on the floor, some seeds or something, it just gets sort of vacuumed up, and caught in the water, and it is amazing. Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome, Anne Marie. Oh, Max certainly is dusty. Yeah. Oh, hello, Rolando from Russia. Yeah, no, Max, Max and the flock, they've got the main floor of my house. I mean, I share it with them because I've got the kitchen there, but they think the kitchen's a pretty important thing, and I spend time there. Now, with the sun setting, you look at the color of Max right now. Look at how he is just turning that salmon, that glowing orange. Yeah, that's the sunset, the warmer light from sunset. Yeah, thanks, Anne Marie. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Max, can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? A Bok Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Whee! Just gonna do a spin. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. Well, you know what he's gonna do? As soon as I stop this stream, he's gonna bark for me. That's when he's gonna bark. Are you gonna squeak, huh? Okay. Max, how about a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. You know what? He has no box to give. Nick, I'm going to try and get a short with a Bok out for you for tomorrow morning. All right, folks, I think we have been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes, which is amazing. And it is getting a bit late, and I've got to go put Mango to bed. And Max is probably ready for a snack. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, hanging out with us tonight. Especially as that sun's beginning to set and Max starts to turn all sorts of cool shades of color. A lot of fun. Yeah, Max. It's so much fun, Max. I know. But thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And we will do this again. Our next regularly scheduled stream is Saturday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you're not sure when that is, just keep an eye for when we populate it on the live. It'll say it's coming up. I'll put it up tonight so that you know when it's coming up. We never know what we're going to do for the stream, if we're going to be outdoors or indoors. It depends on the weather, depends on the air quality, depends on the flock, depends on a lot of things, right, Max? But if the weather's nice, we'll try and pop outside. If the weather's not so nice, we might be indoors. But we always have fun. And, it's so much fun to hang out on this live with you folks. So you have yourself a wonderful evening. Yeah, stay safe, be healthy, and if you've got birds or cats or dogs, give them a scritchy. Right, Max? Buck. Good job.